Hello everyone, welcome back to diving into Doctor Who for the Series 1 finale. Jeannine, the final episode of the 9th Doctor era, Christopher Eccleston's final television episode as the Doctor. Up until this point, of course, as Christopher Eccleston does like to say, sack every producer involved in the show and he might come back. But until that day happens, which obviously isn't looking too keen at the moment with Doctor Who's future, we're likely to never see it again. But we obviously get a particularly emotional send-off, I think, and a surprisingly emotional send-off. A send-off that I've always thought was, yes, far too soon for an incarnation of the Doctor as great as the Ninth Doctor is, as interesting as the Ninth Doctor is, as fun to watch and as well performed as Eccleston is, as the Doctor. We obviously have spoken numerous times over the course of discussing Series 1 here on Diving into Doctor Who, why Christopher Eccleston did only last one series, why he did leave it virtually immediately, just massive creative problems, massive production problems for him. He's a very principled person. He did not agree with a lot of the stuff going on. And but has always stated that he loved playing the Doctor. And very, very frequently goes to conventions and is very, very celebratory of Doctor Who as a entity. Which I think is the best way to be for him, given that he didn't have the experience he would have wanted to have.
But it's very specific to something and not to what the show is, what it means to people. His
it is, because
with Billy Piper and all of that kind of thing.
We have to remember as well that since then he's gone on to do many audio, specials through Big Finish, which are a big company doing Doctor Who audio stories and audio dramas and things like that. He's done many of those, furthering the adventures of the Ninth Doctor. And obviously the Ninth Doctor has appeared in other Doctor Who-based media apart from the main BBC show itself, of course. So the Ninth Doctor's adventures don't have to end for you with today's episode, the Series 1 finale, episode 13, The Parting of the Ways, which I've always liked as a title as well. It feels very finale as a title. But obviously it doesn't, the fact that we know we can go and listen to audio dramas with Eccleston as the Ninth Doctor, it doesn't take away from the impact, I think, of the regeneration at the end of this episode at all. Which we all knew was happening. That's why I think we're starting the episode talking about it. We all knew it was happening. You knew it was happening. I think as we go forward now, when diving into Doctor Who returns in a couple of months' time after a little other show we'll be returning to, I suppose, over the next couple of months on Morgan Hasn't Seen / Jeannine Hasn't Seen TV, our TV shows on It's a Wonderful Podcast. I will be less willing to just dive straight into talking about things that happen in the future and spoilers of a series and things like that, because you genuinely now don't know what's coming after.
I want to say I watched maybe like 2 episodes into season 2, but I don't really remember anything at all. So it's really going to officially be Jeannine Hasn't Seen once we get back into the second season with the new Doctor.
Yeah, I mean, well, we'll be starting with a Christmas special of course.
Yes.
Not unfortunately not at Christmas in this year, the real world.
Yeah.
But when we do return to diving into Doctor Who, it will be with the Christmas Invasion, which was the 10th Doctor's first proper story, because he does, of course, appear at the very end of this episode, and even appears in a little bitty short that was made to kind of tie the gap between the Christmas Invasion, the next official episode that we'll be doing, and the end of this one. There's a little short. I think it's called Born Again.
Okay.
Where basically it's sort of 10 minutes of Rose going, "You're not the Doctor. I don't recognize you. You're not the Doctor. I am the Doctor. I promise you I'm the Doctor." It's basically just that for like 10 minutes.
Okay.
So it's worth watching, and I think it'd be worth watching before we talk the Christmas Invasion. But having said all that, you're obviously in a sad place, Jeannine, as we get into the parting of the ways today. I will give a synopsis of this episode. It does, obviously, it's the second of the finale two-parter, really. I think probably Bad Wolf that we talked, last episode of diving into Doctor Who. It's probably the more interesting episode. I think the parting of the ways is basically just fight the Daleks and then regenerate. And there's not much else going on here.
No.
We enjoy the fighting the Daleks. We enjoy the stakes of it, I think, and we enjoy the emotion of it. But because there's no introduction to anything, the same sort of theme and thematic content is throughout both episodes. So we don't necessarily really
get more. Yeah, I will say I do like that we get at least a little bit more insight onto why Rose wants to do this and why Rose took that chance to go, which we never learned a real answer. She kind of just went, saw she was good at this thing, and took a chance. But I like that we get some real kind of conversation about why she wants to do this and why this is how she wants to spend her life. So if anything, I think we got a little bit more insight into that. But other than that, it's kind of basically what you said, just fight the Daleks and get a new Doctor.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you are right. Rose is probably the most interesting character, or at least what happens to Rose is definitely the most interesting thing that happens in this finale, tying into, of course, the Bad Wolf overarching storyline that we've had throughout the whole season. We'll get to your thoughts on that, but I will give a quick synopsis now. As the Daleks attack the game station led by their Emperor, the Ninth Doctor finds himself helpless. He knows he must make bigger sacrifices if he's going to survive, but does this mean losing his beloved Rose Tyler forever? With Jack Harkness assembling an army together and the Doctor powerless against the Emperor, a deadly net closes around the whole universe. One thing is for certain, not everyone will make it out of this deadly battle alive, but who or what is Bad Wolf? It's time for the Doctor and Rose to find out. Yes.
Ooh, that's a very good synopsis.
I think it is quite a good synopsis, really. I don't know, do we want to bounce around this finale episode, or do we take it piece by piece? Do we take it story point by story point? I mean, I suppose that one big question is, what do we think of the Emperor Dalek?
I mean, the confidence of him thinking that he's immortal and this kind of twisted plot, which I think plays back into when the Daleks came back, and that really great episode of his kind of ultimate goal, turning the Doctor into what Daleks are, turn him into what he hates the most, is kind of the greatest goal for him. And this whole idea of kind of harvesting humans and making them into Daleks, and that whole kind of weird science of it all. So I mean, I think it's scary in terms of just how twisted and dark the motivations go. And then having a villain that's just that confident to to be able to pull it off and to, think that they're above death. And even if they're not, they don't care as long as they kind of, take everyone down with them. So I think that whole kind of ideology that we're getting from them is very terrifying. Makes him more scary than just a blob in a jar.
Well, I mean, he is a blob in a jar, but I do agree. He does think himself a god. He is actively far larger than any other Dalek. He's, like 10 times the size of any other Dalek. His shell is constantly open, though, because he's just kind of static in that one place on the Dalek mothership.
Yeah.
And he's speaking in a deeper tone of voice than every other Dalek as well. It's more like this. He speaks like this, Doctor. And it's kind of rather than your typical Dalek voice. But it is interesting. You get the mutation, the first signs of mutations within the Daleks, evolutions of the Daleks. And we get evolutions of the Daleks as we go forward when they do come back. Time and time again, it seems like. At one point. But it's interesting that it starts off with this harvesting humans idea, because the Doctor calls them out of it, calls them out on it, I suppose. And like, you're becoming more human. And the Daleks all go, blasphemy! No, we are not human. How dare you say that? And then the Doctor's like questioning how they've possibly got a concept of blasphemy. And the fact that they've got the concept of blasphemy clearly means they're developing some sort of
layer of that they've gotten from these humans that they've harvested.
Which is obviously quite dangerous. Actively makes them more dangerous, because they're not just simplistic, mindless, hate-fueled beings anymore. They've got more depth of thought.
Layers.
Which is very, very interesting, but it does obviously really heighten the stakes. What I do love about the Doctor in this, though, is that he is genuinely never showing any panic. And, in the face of this monumental Dalek army that you've just been introduced to at the end of the last episode, the Doctor obviously thinks the Daleks were all destroyed. He destroyed all the Daleks in the Time War. He's been holding on to that grief, that act, that murderous, if you want to call it, quote unquote, murderous side of himself for the entire series. To learn that it now meant nothing. I think pretty quickly flips himself to being like, wait, so I actually didn't kill the Daleks, and that might be positive for my own mind in a way, because I now don't have to carry around guilt of destroying a race, even if it is the Daleks.
Is this worst race? Yes.
That he toys with, that he questions, because they're all back now. So we just kind of zone into previous mode, I guess. And fight the Daleks again, battle the Daleks. He knows he's going to ultimately be able to solve it with the help of everyone else, of course, but he needs that help from everyone else, and he needs the help in particular from Rose, but he doesn't quite trust that, or he doesn't quite trust himself to keep Rose safe while all this is going on.
Yes, and he is pretty certain that, he makes the comment that, this would you rather, die a human or live as a Dalek kind of thing. And, in those terms, I think the mentality is to die as a human rather than be this hateful thing. So he kind of goes into that with this question looming, and both of those options are not options he wants for Rose at all. So that is kind of his major kind of driving force to get her out of the situation. And then whatever happens, he can, deal with it knowing that she's safe. So
yeah. Well, let's get into Rose then in this episode, because obviously she is sent back home, essentially forced back home. In the TARDIS, Doctor manipulates the TARDIS to just send her back home and not allow
her to return to find him.
Not allow her to return.
Yeah.
Puts this hologram of himself, like emergency protocol 1 or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Speaking to her, saying essentially, thank you for everything. You're amazing. You're wonderful, but I must protect you. You're going home. Enjoy your life. Have a great life. Essentially.
Yeah.
What do we think of all the Rose stuff then? Obviously,
home. Yes, and her frustration with that. I loved all the Rose stuff here. I love this idea of him wanting to keep her safe, and just the care that is in this relationship, and the love that you felt between the two of them from the very beginning, when he just takes her hand and they don't even know each other, and you feel that. And so to see that grow into this great partnership, and that promise he kept, and we've seen him have these conflicts after kind of Jackie goes off on him. He really takes that in. He really was shaken by that. And so he's constantly, you see him constantly think of keeping her safe in kind of their darkest scenarios going forward through the rest of the season. So then he makes this ultimate choice. And so I love her reaction to that, and the pain she feels from that, but you understand why he did it. And then I love kind of the whole rant that she ends up having when she sat there with her mom and Mickey, and they're just in a restaurant, and she doesn't want to eat, and she looks absolutely miserable. And they're like, Jackie's like, I know I hated him for a long time, but now I love him because he brought you back to me. And she's like, well, I'm back now, but what am I supposed to do? Like, get on the bus and go to work and then come home and then just eat and chips and lay around? Like, no, I want to do more with my life. He showed me the life that I want to live. And I love that
he's there 200,000 years into the future, dying.
And I'm just sat here doing nothing to stop it. And, she's like, I want a better life. And, she lists off all these kind of mundane things. And he's like, and Mickey's like, well, that's what we do. So what do you think, you're better than us? So I love that, like, they address kind of a misunderstanding of what she's trying to say. So we get the layers of what she really means when she's saying this, that like, it was cool to see planets and aliens and go to different times, but that's not what it was about for me. It was about doing these amazing things and helping people and trying to build a better world. Like, that is what I want to do. That is my purpose, kind of thing. And I can't just
she
sit
does
here.
say at one point, there's nothing left for me here. And she says that directly to Mickey.
Yes.
Has got to hurt Mickey.
Yes, because he kind of repeats it, like, and I think in most scenes like this, when somebody says something like that, the person they're saying it to, who thinks that they should be that thing that they are leaving behind, when they kind of repeat it back to them, then that person has the realization of what they said and realize they misspoke and apologize.
I didn't mean it like that. Obviously, there's you. No.
But no, she doesn't even clock anything about him being the thing that's keeping her there at all. And so he just comes, but I love kind of the quick acceptance of him just not making a thing of it, has a little sad face, and then says, okay, this is what you want. I'm going to do my best to help you get that.
Yeah. It's pretty selfless from Mickey.
Yes. And he sees just how good at this she is, just how much she loves it, how much she needs it, and how much this means to her, and how miserable she would be if she stayed there with him. So all of that is enough for him to work with her to get her what she wants, and ultimately takes Jackie a little bit, but she gets there as well.
Yeah.
I was talking to some friends, and a couple of them said they hate Rose, and I was just like,
I
so
think it's Rose Tyler's gone through an interesting sort of transition
yeah, and so I could see
from
there's like
being.
a collective of people who maybe I could understand to a degree, but I mean, I was like, I love her. I'm sorry.
I think if you look at Rose through Mickey's eyes, it would be
Yeah,
so easy to hate her. Now,
yeah,
this isn't the last we see of Mickey either. You know,
yeah,
Mickey does return and does become a fairly noble sort of character when you consider all the things that have happened since the Doctor's
yeah,
come into his life. You know, he
yeah.
was happy with Rose chilling and just having a nice
Yeah,
young
and she didn't
relationship,
know
right?
anything better, so she didn't question her life because she didn't know that there was more
Exactly.
out there. Yeah.
When we get to that, you know, we'll get to that when we get to it eventually. But it's far from the last we see of Mickey. But yeah, if you look at Rose through his eyes, I get that mentality,
Yeah.
absolutely. If you look at Rose through the 9th Doctor's eyes, I think it's much different as well. If you look at Rose through the 10th Doctor's eyes, and maybe people
Really?
are putting that viewpoint onto how the
No way.
10th Doctor views Rose and what happens with the 10th Doctor and Rose.
Oh,
And
no. Oh my god.
what no, I will say it now. Sorry, I realize you don't know. So I will say this now.
No.
It's not negative. It's
Okay,
not
okay.
a negative relationship at
Okay.
all. It's not a negative dynamic they have. It's just an interestingly different one to how he is with, or how she is with Eccleston.
Okay. Okay.
And I think people maybe don't like that because they don't like seeing the Doctor companion relationship in that particular way. They prefer a different sort of
A dynamic. Okay.
Doctor companion relationship.
Okay.
Which I think is understandable. You know, I don't say I prefer one or the other. I think it works for what it is in series 2, and we'll obviously
Okay.
talk about that soon enough after
Okay.
our little break for another show for a couple of months. But we'll get into it. I think Rose is in the mentality now of it's cool to hate on Rose Tyler at the moment. I think in the Doctor
Mm,
Who sort of world,
okay.
as opposed to other companions, later companions,
Yeah.
classic Who companions. You know, it's kind of cool to hate on her. Shut up, though, because everybody loved her 20 years ago. You know full well everybody loved her 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, what? Go with that mentality. Yes, I think there has been better, it's a vague word, better companions than Rose. Probably, yeah, more interesting Doctor companion dynamics
Okay.
since Rose as well. But it's a good Doctor companion dynamic, and Rose as a character is so significant to those, you know, to her series that she's in.
Yeah.
She's so significant to that first Russell T Davies era. She's monumental. I mean, she's monumental in the finale of this series,
Yeah.
right? In this
Yeah.
particular episode,
Mhm.
with what happens to her in relating to Bad Wolf. I mean, what do we think of all that? She is the Bad Wolf, Jeannine. She
Yeah.
becomes the Bad Wolf.
Yeah, her kind of gaining these powers and becoming this entity that kind of can control things and it was
What do we think about how it happens though, and all obviously all the words scattered across time, the Doctor, you know, meanwhile all the Rose stuff's happening on Earth, Doctor and Jack are obviously still on the game station fighting
yes,
and doing all their
fighting
stuff.
all yeah.
And the Doctor talking with the Emperor Dalek. What does Bad Wolf mean then? we're fighting each other now, but what's all this bad wolf nonsense everywhere?
Yes, that you've been chasing me
That's
with
not
these
part of
words.
my plan. I don't know what that is,
Yeah.
says the Emperor Dalek.
Yeah.
So that's even more confusing, right?
Yes.
Until we learn exactly what it is.
Yes, because when Rose is on Earth and trying to figure out how to get back, she's seeing Bad Wolf written all over the place, this old graffiti, and Mickey saying that's been there for years. It's just old, it doesn't mean anything, but she is remembering these words, kind of following them around. And even after that, the Dalek says that, I have nothing to do with that. We kind of pan up and see that, like, it's the Bad Wolf Corporation, like, so it's there as well. Yeah. And then for that to be kind of Rose being kind of the holder of all of that was a crazy reveal. I don't even think I remembered that that's what that was. So to see her kind of return in this epic way and just come out glowing out of the TARDIS, and the Doctor's just like laid on the ground, like being faced with her, like definitely.
Well, because it's
intense.
because she's looked into the heart of the TARDIS, and people aren't supposed to look into the heart of the TARDIS.
No.
The Doctor isn't supposed to look into the heart of the TARDIS.
So it's like all of time and space is like running through her, and it's too much, so she can see what was and what is and what will be. And it's just too much for her to take. But in the moment that she has it, she brings Jack back to life, who ended up dying kind of trying to fight off the Daleks, and she ultimately ends up disintegrating the Daleks as well. So
like the Daleks try and obviously shoot her, exterminate her. And she literally like some sort of Jedi puts her hand out, stops the laser, and just returns it back on the Dalek. It's a bit Deus Ex Machina, isn't it?
A little bit,
it's
but
a little bit.
I expected something like this to happen. Like, it wasn't going to end in some tragic way, like, from what I remembered. Like, I remember the most tragic thing in this episode was losing Eccleston.
Yes.
So,
but why we end up in the regeneration in itself is interesting, because obviously the way Rose realizes, after seeing all the Bad Wolf everywhere and finally coming to the realization that it's a message she's left herself over time and space to remember this exact moment and how to get back. Which is look into the heart of the TARDIS, go into the TARDIS, find a way. How they do it, I don't know. Nobody knows. Look into the heart of the TARDIS. Telepathically connect with the TARDIS, because you can do that. We know you can do that. That's not a new thing. So we know you can do that. And return back. The Doctor's obviously very shocked that that he hears the TARDIS come back anyway, because there's just been a big whole Dalek battle going on. I mean, do we like the Dalek battle as well? Do we like all the Daleks flying around? Do we think it looks decent for BBC television in 2005?
I mean, it doesn't look great, but you kind of understand the limitations of the time, and it's still very
Does it look
tense.
that much different to some things in, say, the Star Wars prequels? I don't think it looks
not that bad. No. I mean, when you make that comparison, I mean, I guess that's fair. But I mean, the emotion, I think, is still there enough. The tension of this battle and them kind of working their way up to the Doctor, and the Doctor trying to create this device that's going to potentially destroy everyone. And Jack fighting them off, and the rest of the television crew people trying to fight them off, and as they work their way up. So all of that, and Rose trying to figure out if she's how to get back to stop this or whatever. So I mean, the tension, I think, still works regardless of kind of maybe how not perfect it looks. You still felt the feelings, I think.
I do like the fight that one Dalek has with the android, though.
Oh yeah,
I like that.
Like, because she
because
takes a
the
few of them
android
out.
gets a couple of shots in,
Yeah, they'd end up using her. They're like, okay, we're gonna place her here, and she can kind of be a line of defense. So she takes out a couple before they ended up blowing off her head. So, it was a nice kind of way to bring that back, I think, which was
It
funny.
was.
Yeah,
And
saying the
Linda's
line and
still
everything.
around as well. Saying the
Yeah.
line.
Yes. She is kind of there relaying information on what she's seeing from the Daleks, where they're at on the ship and all this kind of thing. So she chose to stay because that was a whole thing.
Yeah.
The
I
doctor's like,
think
there's
all
still
the contestants of the game station have been sent down to like the bottom floor for safety.
Yeah, but she chose to stay up there, and she has a cute little moment with the doctor, like,
Yeah.
like they're just kind of giving each other looks, like he's very kind of impressed that she chose to stay, and he kind of inspired her to do so, and that whole kind of thing.
I think this is
So
why she's one of those very fondly remembered companions that could have been
yeah,
kind of scenarios. Because I
yes,
think she's a
bravery.
great little character for 2 episodes.
Exactly. So, her kind of finding out what's actually really going on and still choosing to stay there, I think is such a noble thing. And even just kind of the cute little dynamic that she had with the doctor, with their kind of, I guess you could call them flirtations, was just like a nice, relaxing little kind of energy to have in the midst of all this kind of crazy stuff
I mean,
happening.
look, as soon as Jack turned up in this series, the Doctor has been nothing but flirtatious. The amount of
Oh,
flirting
yeah.
that's been going on in these episodes since Jack's involvement
I mean,
has
yeah,
just been extreme.
we get multiple kisses in this episode.
We
Um,
do. Everybody's like constantly just it's this very bisexual energy going on in the TARDIS
and
these days.
I love that, which I'm like, for the time, were people up in arms about something like that? Because I
I do
feel
not
like
recall people being up in arms about it. I recall people being up in arms about it in today's Doctor Who. I do not
see,
recall people being up in arms about it
that's what
20
I don't
years ago.
understand, because it's like things like that come out now and people are all going crazy. A Disney movie has a gay couple and we don't even see the gay couple kiss or anything, but it's all this outrage. Snoop Dogg on podcast talking about, I'm never taking my grandson to see a movie like that and this and that kind of thing. Um, it's like, how is
You
it
do
so bad?
actively get Jack kissing the Doctor in this episode.
Yes, he kisses Rose because he's going to do this thing. He's saying goodbye. He knows there's a chance he's gonna die. So he says goodbye to Rose, kisses her on the lips, and then he says goodbye to the doctor and kisses him on the lips. And even like the episode prior, I had mentioned that like he was kind of being a little flirtatious with the guy running that floor or
He was,
whatever
yeah.
before the Dalek
Oh, I
showed
think
up.
Jack. I think Jack's definitely that character.
Yeah.
It's more interesting when the Doctor's being
Doctor, yeah, he just is like, because he is also kind of this entity as well, so it's not like orientation or labels mean anything to him in that way
no,
either, but it's because he's an alien, not because he's like a bisexual man. So,
yeah,
I kind of love that. I love that they just made it this kind of fluid thing that, you care about people, and so that's what you do when you care about people, and that's kind of all it is.
yeah.
And it doesn't
It was
have to
always a
be more
great
than
way
that.
to
It
do
doesn't
it.
have to be some kind of statement. It's kind of like, uh, with Peacemaker, and like how, John Cena chose to make that character bisexual, and
Yeah,
it's just a trait of his, and it doesn't, you know, um, it makes him, despite kind of what you think he is, him being this kind of other thing, it just adds to his character and makes it nice to see a character who kind of maybe feels like this negative thing.
yeah.
It makes him a much more open person to accept when we're starting to kind of fall in love with this character. So yeah, I love the choice to have this kind of fluidity with these characters. So yeah.
Little hint there to what we're returning to
Yeah. Yes,
start to.
perhaps. But yeah,
No,
and
I
then
completely agree though with that.
yeah,
I do.
yes. And then we see the Doctor and Rose kiss at the end of this, because it's how he is
Yes.
ultimately getting this time and space energy out of her, because it's going to kill her. It's just too much for
It's going
her
to burn her
mind.
inside. Yeah.
Yes. So that's how he kind of transfers it to himself, which then prompts him to have to regenerate, taking all
Well,
of
do we
that
view
on.
it? Do we therefore view it as a romantic kiss, or do we view it as a transference of energy situation?
I think it's a little bit of both, especially, I mean, when you read that synopsis and you say that, it's him referring to her as his beloved Rose, like,
Mm,
so I think it is a bit of a care for her, a love for her, and a goodbye, because he knows what's going to happen once he does this. Um, and that's the best way to transfer it, kind of
yeah.
thing, because I love when he's so gentle when this crazy thing is happening, this thing is affecting her, and he's not shouting like, "Come here," like, "I have to get this out," like, he's not
Yeah.
panicked. He's so gentle when he's telling her to come here, and he takes her in his arms and he kisses her. All of that is so it's this dire kind of situation, but he's so gentle in how he handles it, that
I
I
also think
feel like there's something
mightily
there
impressed as well. Like, he's
that she took that
mightily
on.
impressed that she's
Yes,
took this on, that
and
she's got
returned.
back to him.
Yes, despite what he said, despite his efforts, she found a way back to him, because how much she cares
Yeah.
about what they do together.
And that ultimately she is the bad wolf of the
Yeah,
series,
yeah,
right? She even says as much, "I am the bad wolf,"
yeah,
and all this.
yeah,
The big bad, it is based on the big bad wolf come to destroy all the Daleks. That's what
yeah,
it's
yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah.
It's this twist on what we thought it was when the big bad wolf was to destroy the Doctor. It's
Yeah.
not. It's
No, it's the other way
it's actively
around.
to
Yeah,
destroy the Daleks.
yeah,
And he's monumentally impressed. So yeah, I think there may be a little bit of romantic energy to that
yeah.
kiss. I think it's personally, I think it's predominantly this transference of
Transference.
energy
Yeah,
situation. I've got to take this out of you because I want to continue traveling with you in my next incarnation. Not that
yeah.
you know that's going to happen at the moment,
No,
Rose,
no.
but it will. I know it will.
Yeah,
We both, watching it, know it will. I think viewers at the time knew it was happening as well, because obviously it would have been in the news. Oh, Eccleston is
yeah.
not returning and all this. So
Departing. Yeah,
we
yeah,
know what happens with Doctor Who from the last, what was it, 40 years of Doctor Who.
yeah, yeah.
We know what happens there. But yeah, I mean, yes or no question though. Do you like that you see it as romantic?
I mean, you know me.
I do know you. I do.
And I love any kind of romantic element in anything. And I've said that with this relationship, that I love this kind of underlying romantic energy, but I like that it's not all consuming, that it's not, you know,
Okay.
outrightly said. I love that it's this underlying thing. I love that when he just takes her hand and they
Okay.
run off somewhere together. I love when he gives her this look. I love when he gets a little bit jealous when she's flirting with somebody else. Like, all of those just little underlying things that aren't explicit, because this relationship is not like that. It's not a rom-com, it's not a romance, it's not the focus. It's a partnership. It's a team work kind of
Okay.
element. It's how they work together. But if there's this kind of underlying flirtation that adds a little cuteness and adds this layer of you wanting them to stay together and be together to do what they need to do,
You think
and
that's the
that
sweet spot?
care, I think that's the sweet spot. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That does intrigue me into, obviously we plan on diving into Doctor Who for some time. It
Yeah.
intrigues me going forward over the
Okay.
course of this show, that particular your answer to
Okay.
that. And you'll understand why it intrigues me when we do get there.
Okay, well, now I'm like nervous, but also a little excited. So
interesting though. But yeah, I
because
mean,
I don't know how to take that. But yeah, that's the sweet spot for
I'm
me.
really trying my best to not to be
I
to be a little
appreciate that.
bit vague.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
But yeah, look, I don't think the Daleks were as intimidating in the parting of the ways as they could have
As they
been.
were, yes, yeah.
And certainly as they were in Dalek.
Yeah. That
Or
was
as the
terrifying.
one Dalek was in Dalek, and I think that's why the episode Dalek is particularly great. I think the Daleks, weirdly, are almost more effective in small numbers than they are in as mass armies.
That's why I preferred. I thought the intimidation came from like all of the things the leader was saying. That's what was more scary to me.
Intimidating.
Yes, and him and kind of his whole mission statement was more scary to me and added kind of the tension than like the actual seeing the Daleks kind of work their way around. But
okay then. Okay. Last bits of this episode. Jack, obviously, having returned to life thanks to the bad wolf energy, decides to leave and go off on his own, obviously, for however long. We'll not the last we'll see of Jack.
Yeah, because I mean, he walks in and he sees the TARDIS fading away. So
well, yeah, no, yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's the same concept basically.
Yeah,
Jack's no longer with the TARDIS.
Yeah. Yes.
I think he's happy with that, but it is not the last we see of Jack. Either, which I think is good. It's interesting to see Jack with Tennant as well. It's interesting.
I'm curious. I'm very curious to see that.
It's different.
Yeah,
it is different.
Okay.
I almost think it's Tennant's got a better. I say Tennant. The 10th Doctor has a better relationship with other people than he does with Jack. I think probably because of shortness of time, like the 9th Doctor and his relationship with Jack, it just seems to mean more.
Yeah.
Because they've spent, a third of a season
together. I mean, he traveled with them.
Well, not even the third of a season. A third of your tenure as the Doctor together. Yeah. It feels significant. Jack feels significant for the 9th Doctor. He doesn't necessarily feel significant for the 10th Doctor.
Okay.
But he's there. He's there. He's helping. It's not like he doesn't know who. It's not like they don't know who each other are. It's not like they aren't a similar sort of dynamic. I just think when I think of the 10th Doctor, I think of so many other people, and other companions, other little characters. Before I think of Jack, I think when I think of the 9th Doctor, I think of Rose and Jack.
Okay.
It makes sense based on time, I think. Well, I think you'll understand what I mean.
Okay.
But the regeneration, we must get into the regeneration now, because obviously we've had this kiss and transference of energy.
Yeah.
The Doctor's taken on all this glow and, the weight of the world, time and space, everything and anything that he kind of has already, but having the energy there is too much even for the Doctor. So he's kind of sheepishly going about his business in the TARDIS.
Building up to telling her.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Building up to telling her because she is passed out on the floor of the TARDIS.
Yeah.
She wakes up and it's a very easy sort of, I suppose, reveal that regeneration exists to Rose, because he describes it as, well, you won't be seeing this face again.
Yeah.
Or I won't be seeing you again, not with this face anyway. This silly old face.
Yeah.
Don't worry though, it'll all be fine. This just happens sometimes. Every cell in my body's dying. Yeah, I'll be back though. I won't be
Yeah,
fine.
this is
I'm not
our Time
actually.
Lord's
I'm not
way.
dying. It'll still be me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just won't look like me anymore. And she can't fathom it. She can't get her head around it.
Yeah, me
She's
neither.
just had her head around everything and anything in the
Yes.
multiverse.
Yeah.
But she can't get her head around this. And of course, you can't get your head around this. But it starts to kind of slowly just twitch on him, doesn't it? And he starts to kind of fall down a bit.
And she tries to go to reach for him, and he's like, "No, don't come near me."
Like, absolutely don't touch me, because that would kill you.
Yes, but he's like, "But I have to tell you with this face while it's me, like this version of me, that you're amazing. But you know what? I'm amazing too, or I was amazing too." And I love that. I love that so much.
I would be. I would feel silly not to say, because I think it is. I almost apologize for saying this, Jeannine, because I think it's so significant to the Ninth Doctor. The word is fantastic.
Fantastic. Okay.
But it's a very. I think we would get called out for not saying
The exact quote. Yes, fair.
In this particular moment, and the way Eccleston says it. It has to always be fantastic.
Yes.
But you are right. Conceptually, it's a wonderful thing to say.
Yes, and I mean, I shouted at my TV. Yes, yes, you were. Yeah.
But so was Rose. You know,
yes.
you were absolutely fantastic, and you know what? So was I.
Yes,
you were. It's a great last regeneration line.
Yeah.
It's a great, and he's before that he's waxing about all these things they were going to do together as as the Ninth and Rose going to the planet Barcelona and whatever the planet Barcelona is. I don't think we never actually see the planet Barcelona. I don't know if there's some sort of comic book or audio about the planet Barcelona,
because that's like kind of the last line of the episode too.
It's the last line of the total episode as well. Obviously going into the regeneration, and it's a great regeneration. I think it's a really emotional, really quite scary for Rose, because I mean, so many Doctor Who viewers. Rose doesn't know what's going on, but so many Doctor Who viewers don't know what's going on at this point. The older people will. The parents of the children watching Doctor Who 20 years ago knew what was going on. I didn't know what was going on when I was watching this 20 years ago. I don't know what's going on here. And then you get the whole arm stretched out, head stretched out, light beams,
coming out,
typical regeneration fare of the era.
I
think there's typically how they regenerate in NuWho, to be honest with you. Apart from Matt Smith to Peter Capaldi is a very different regeneration, though. It's a very, very different style of regeneration. It's very quick. It's very, very quick. It's almost instantaneous. It's like the snap of a finger, and you just new face. There it is.
Okay.
It's not this big. I mean, it's a big monologue. You get a big Matt Smith monologue, sure, but then it's just like zoo bang. Rather than a whole choral music glowing, everything goes off. The music as well. We must say the music. The music's always phenomenal in Doctor Who of this era. Murray Gold is the composer of the era, who did all these Doctor Who themes and everything. And I think particularly in the 10th Doctor's era, you'll notice music a lot more. I think the music's really, really emphasized the certain themes of it. Over the course of the era itself, because there's 3 series and 4 specials after that of David Tennant. as the 10th Doctor. Obviously, there's also David Tennant's 14th Doctor, which comes, only a couple of years ago at this point, or last couple of years ago. But you get the regeneration, and David Tennant slowly appears from throughout the glow, wearing the same clothing that Eccleston was wearing, and he looks ridiculous in it. I do like when the Doctor wears the previous incarnation's clothing as well, because we haven't got the typical suits of the tight suits and Converse of the 10th Doctor's era. The great brown suit and a brown striped suit and a blue suit. It's really good costuming, I think, from David Tennant. But he slowly comes on, and Rose doesn't speak to him at this point. This is the very end.
Yeah, she's taking it in. Yeah.
She's trying to take it in, and he's just like, oh, okay, new face, and let's try and figure out my face. Oh, different teeth. That's weird.
It's weird.
For that. Hair, big hair. Wow, what's going on there? Well, what were we doing? Oh yeah, Barcelona. And there it goes. I think you immediately get the 10th Doctor's energy, though.
Yes.
From it.
Yeah.
I think David Tennant immediately, he
sets up what his characterization is going to be, and make it still feel like the same person in a sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's the same. It's still going to be the Doctor, but it's going to be distinctly different to not just. It's the difficult thing, I suppose, of being the Doctor. Yeah. And we'll get into all that, obviously, when we come back for the Christmas invasion, the start of series 2 of Doctor Who, in this era, NuWho with the 10th Doctor. Yeah. But David Tennant was a monumental Doctor Who fan.
Yes.
It must be said as well.
Okay.
Like, Eccleston was never that.
Okay.
Eccleston was never that. Like, David Tennant was and is like a ridiculous fanboy of Doctor Who, as was Peter Capaldi as well.
Okay.
It must be said. I don't know if Matt Smith was, because I feel like Matt Smith was a child during the time when Doctor Who wasn't on.
Yeah.
But I think Tennant brings so much. There's a reason that 10th Doctor is still the most popular Doctor of all time. I think I don't think we will ever get to a stage of where it's cool to hate on the 10th Doctor. I just genuinely don't think we will.
Okay.
He's so immediately sort of likable.
Loved. Okay.
And strangely enough, I mean, he isn't in the Christmas invasion, that next episode. He isn't in it a great deal because he's kind of recovering from regeneration for a lot of it.
Okay.
When he is there, he's there.
Yeah.
And then the series that follows, of it, all the
the actual show with him.
Follows.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm excited for it. I know it's a sad time.
Sad, very sad. But I mean, this is where I stopped. This is where I couldn't go forth any further, and now I will. So
I am interested to know if you. I mean, not that you say you can't remember. Did you watch the Christmas invasion? Would you have remembered if you watched a specific Christmas episode?
Would have remembered. I don't think I would have remembered that.
Or did you would have watched New Earth, which is the first episode of.
I think I might have just gone into the first 2 episodes of
Cat Nurses. Do you remember Cat Nurses?
Vaguely, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really white clinical hospital sort of setting.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. That's episode 1. Interesting. But yes, there we go. Thank you, Chris, for again your wonderful time as the Doctor. It's been nice to revisit you from both of us. It's been nice to revisit this series. Just wonderful stuff in series 1.
Yes, there were some really good episodes there. Yeah. Yes,
it's got a couple of duds. One real dud, I would say. A couple of middly episodes.
Yeah.
But vast majority are just either really
so
fun,
impressive,
really clever, really intriguing,
emotional,
just wonderful sci-fi television, really.
Oh, yes. I mean, like, even this episode, the callback to Rose's dad and Jackie, like, not believing her that she saw him, that she met him, because Jackie was trying to tell her, your father would never want you to do this crazy thing that you're about to do, to try to go back there. And she's like, yes, he would. Dad was crazy like that and would tell me to do whatever it takes. No, he wouldn't. I met him. Remember when he said someone was holding his hand as he died? And you saw them from afar,
that blonde girl? Lady?
Yes, and Jackie refuses to believe it, and that was just such a great scene to call back to that moment, and then ultimately it does get Jackie on board to help her. So, yeah, like emotional episodes, and so many feelings felt in some of the best episodes of this season. So, I was very happy to revisit, but I was not looking forward to saying goodbye, and now we are here. So
we are. It is a sad time, but look, we're getting into. Look, I love series 1, sure, I love series 1, but I love series 2, 3, and 4.
Okay,
I really love series 2, 3, and 4. Like, there's some utterly awful stuff in series 2 as well. I mean, genuinely just ridiculous, poor quality episodes in series 2. Humorously poor quality, though.
Okay.
They're not boring.
Okay,
they're definitely
just in
not boring.
of, like, how it looks. Okay.
No, in terms of how is this on television kind of situation. How is this?
How did we get here?
Okay.
I can appreciate that.
But I really do. But yes, that is going to do it for diving into Doctor Who for this year, I suppose, as we return to palling with Peacemaker starting in a couple of weeks' time after, of course, the next episode of Discovering Dawson's Creek, which alternates every Monday here on the It's Wonderful podcast channel and the It's Wonderful podcast feed, wherever you are watching or listening today. Do subscribe and ding your notification bell. If you are watching, things have been scrolling down at the bottom of the screen all episode long. But of course, if you are listening to today's episode of Diving into Doctor Who, leave your rates and reviews everywhere. Leave your comments on Spotify. Share it around with anyone and everyone you know. Do you like Doctor Who? Were you as emotionally affected by the 9th Doctor's regeneration as everybody else? And do you think it's cool to hate on Rose Tyler? Because if you do, I don't. We don't.
I love Rose, so I'm sorry.
I mean, maybe it's cool to hate on Rose. No, it's not. It's not cool to hate on Rose Tyler. But I understand it more from those who have great fondness for many other companions.
Okay. And if you're comparing them.
Yeah. Martha's, Donna's, obviously. Amy and Rory and Clara and everybody else. As we get further and further towards the recent times, although the recent companions haven't been well received. Not particularly well received, but also not particularly well done. So it's not their fault they weren't well received.
Okay.
But yes, that is what else have I got to say? If you want to support us on Patreon or donate in any way, of course, find the links to do that in the description of today's episode, and of course on and across all the social medias as well, on the app formerly known as Twitter and on Blue Sky at It's a Wonderful One. Find me on the app formerly known as Twitter at the Purple Dawn with a 3 instead of the E in there, because Jeannine,
3 is a magic number.
On Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky at The Purple Dawn. All your fantastic things out there.
You can find me at Jeannine Devine _ on Twitter, Jeannine Devine on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. And if you want to get any merch for any of our shows, just check the description for the link or search G9 Design on tpublic.com.
Well, you were fantastic over series 1, Jeannine. And you know what?
Thank you.
So
were you.
To close us out, please, in your finest Ninth Doctor, or in fact, a Dalek impression, as there's not been too much Dalek impressions from me today.
No,
given it's such a Dalek heavy episode.
Yes.
Although the fighting falls to the wayside amongst the more interesting things going on, I suppose, doesn't it?
Yes, there's a lot to take in.
Going, blasphemy! Blasphemy! How dare you!
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, exterminate!
Bye! Not say that as a Dalek. That's awful.
No, it's terrible.
Bye. Soften it.
That was a lot.
Can't do that. Let's never do that again.